Now, I want to read you a story from the Rhyming Bible. And as you might have known, this is one of my favourite books. And in this story, there are people with plans. I wonder how they work out. Let's find out. The story's called One Hump, Two Humps. The star watchers watched the stars go by, looking for secrets in the sky. And then they saw a special star, away in the west, away off far. A king's been born, that's what it means. Judea's way, or so it seems. They climbed aboard their camely beasts and set off west from their homes back east. One hump, two humps, lumpity-lump, the star watchers went with a bump and a thump. One hump, two humps, lumpity-lump, the star watchers followed that star. At last, their journey came to an end. They parked their camels in Jerusalem. Then they went to Herod, king of the nation, to ask him for some information. "O king," they asked, they were quite polite, "somewhere round here on this starry night a brand new baby king abides. Can you tell us where this child resides?" A worried look crossed Herod's face. He had no plans to be replaced, so he asked his priests if they could tell where this brand new baby king might dwell. The priests all answered straight away, "Bethlehem is what the prophets say." Then Herod thought an evil thing. "I think I need to meet this king." One hump, two humps, lumpity-lump, the star watchers went with a bump and a thump. One hump, two humps, lumpity-lump, the star watchers watched and followed the star. "Star watchers? Friends," King Herod smiled. "In Bethlehem you'll find the child. Would you tell me where you find him, please? The exact address would put my mind at ease." Herod, of course, told them a lie. He'd already planned for the child to die. When he found the boy, that's what he'd do. So the star watchers left without a clue. The shining star led them to the place, a simple house, not some fancy space. And when they saw the little boy, they gave him a pile of special toys. Presents rather fit for a king, a bunch of shiny golden things, a spice called myrrh, a sort of perfume, while smelly frankincense filled the room. Then, in the night, they had a dream that showed them Herod's evil scheme. So they never said where the boy's house lay, but went straight home by another way. One hump, two humps, lumpity-lump, the star watchers went with a bump and a thump. One hump, two humps, lumpity-lump, the star watchers followed that star. People with plans. The star watchers, their plan, when they saw the star and knew what it meant, they had only one plan which they kicked into action straight away. Follow that star, find the new king, bring him gifts and worship him. And they knew that that plan would cost them. They had to leave their homes and their families, travel a long way, didn't know how long it was going to take them, but they followed the plan. And did it work? Yes, they met the king and they worshipped him with their gifts. Now there was someone else in that story who also had a plan, wasn't there? King Herod, yes. And his plan, was that a good plan? I don't think so. His plan was basically to keep him on the throne selfishly, and he felt threatened by the new king, and so his plan was to get rid of him. Now, all those people had plans, but actually there was a greater plan, wasn't there? There was a bigger picture, because God's plan was being put into practice, wasn't it? And if we read in the Old Testament, there's a verse in the Bible in a book called Jeremiah, and God says this. God says, "For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord. They are plans for good and not for disaster, to give you a future and a hope." And God's plan in the story we've just read was to protect Jesus and to foil the evil king's attempts at getting rid of him. Now I wonder if you ever think about the plans God has for you, because God had plans for Jesus. He had very important plans for Jesus, and he protected his life as a young child to make sure that those plans would happen. And God has a plan for your life as well. He knows the plans he has for you. And that's what he says, plans that are good. And God's plans are to bless us and also to make us a blessing to others. So I'm going to set you a bit of a challenge this week. In my little mushroom box, what I did was I just cut up some pieces of paper. There they are, quite a few, and some pencils. And you can do the same at home. And because we're spending quite a lot of time in our houses at the moment with our families, this might be a good thing for your whole family to do, maybe once every day. So God's plans are to bless us. So I would like you every day to sit down and write down one thing that God has given you or done for you that is good. What has God blessed you with? What good things has God given you? What the good things has God done for you, or is he doing for you? Write one thing down every day, fold it up, keep it a secret, don't show anybody else. Fold it up, put it back in the little box, and then the next day do the same thing, and do it every day throughout this week. Maybe everybody hopefully in your family can do it too. And then at the end of the week, all get together and take turns choosing one and reading it out. And that way you get to count those blessings. You get to think about them. You get to celebrate them. You get to say thank you for them. And you get to hear what other people think are blessings as well. And you might have lots of things that you've seen that are in common. So enjoy doing that. But also this week, the other part of the challenge is, can you think of a way that you can be a blessing to others? God has blessed you with lots of good things that hopefully you'll write down. But how can you bless others? How can you bless the people in your family this week? Can you bless your mum with a tidy bedroom, or an offer to help to do something that normally she would have to ask you to do? Maybe you could offer. Could you bless somebody by drawing them a picture or making a card and sending it to them with a little message? Or maybe you could, FaceTime a friend and say hi and just have a bit of a chat and cheer them up. You'll have lots of good ways of thinking of being blessings to others. So I'll leave that with you. Have fun counting your blessings and enjoy the plans that God has for you. See ya. Bye.